Maria tukuhaririirie inoro miaraho.
The 2025 KCSE examination results have been graded using the reviewed grading system in which the overall grade at KCSE examination considers mathematics, the best performing language among English, Swahili, and Kenyan Sign Language, and the best performed 5 subjects.
Minister Ogamba kurekereria maumirira ma kigeranio gya KCSE kya mwaka muhituku.
Of the 993,226 candidates who sat the 2025 KCSE examinations, 492,012 were male, while 501,214 were female.
Mwana wa kairetu kuyukiriria na njira nene kigeranio-ini gya KCSE. President guthie na mbere na kugathiriria mubango wa nyota. Na ateti kurio maunire tunwe ithige handu ha kuhunjia rumena.
Ni tariki inyanya mweri wa mwambiririo wa mwaka mweru wa 2026 gakihoka ati mwaka waku ni wambiriirie wega na no uthiite na mbere na gukorwo ukiri mwega. Riu ciehanda thaa 7 ndoka niguo ngorwo ngikurehera mohoro ma inoro miaraho. Ritwa riakwa ni Wambui wa Macharia. Na tukiambiriria, Minister wa Githomo Julius Ogamba aumagaritio ni anyiti itemi angi a githomo ari Eldoret county ya Uasin Gishu nyarekereirie maumirira ma kigeranio gya KCSE kia mwaka wa 2025 rita ria keri kuma yukie giturwa giki. Arutwo 1932 nio magite na grade ya A kigeranio-ini gya KCSE kia mwaka muhituku, kuria maumirira ma arutwo 1,180 makanjitwo na makigiritanio na wishi wakio. Rona kuri o arutwo makiria ma 270 nio magite na kanya ga kuingira university marina arama ya C+ guthie iguru na mbere yongererekete ukiringithania na mwaka wa 2024, no makiria marutwo 600 matinahota gukinya ikiro kana ikigikiro gya kwigwatira ithenya university-ini.
Using the reviewed grading system in which the overall grade at KCSE examination considers mathematics, the best performing language among English, Swahili, and Kenyan Sign Language, and the best performed 5 subjects. There were 1,932, which is 0.19% candidates who obtained an overall mean grade A in the year 2025 KCSE examination. This is an improvement as compared to 1,693, which is 0.18% candidates who scored plain A in 2024. The number of candidates with direct university entry qualifications of mean grade C+ and above was 270,715, which is 27.18% in the year 2025 KCSE examination. This is an improvement compared to 246,391, which was 25.53% in the year 2024. The number of candidates with grade C- and above was 507,131, which is 50.92% in the year 2025 KCSE examination, compared to 476,889, which was 49.41% in the year 2024. The number of candidates attaining a pass grade, which is grade D+ and above, was 634,082, which is 63.67% in the year 2025, compared to 605,774, which is 62.76% in the year 2024. I wish to reiterate that our stand on the integrity of examinations in November last year, we indicated that there were reported cases under investigation and that action would be taken upon conclusion of the investigations. At the conclusion of the KCSE examination, 1,180 candidates were found to have been involved in examination irregularities. Consequently, and in line with the applicable law and regulations, their examination results have been cancelled. It is now my humble duty and privilege to declare the 2025 KCSE examination results officially released.
Kigeranio gĩa KCSE kiria kirekereirio ni Ministry ya Githomo kuria arutwo 993 maraikarire kigeranio kiu mwaka muhituku wa 2025. Mathomo 17 ni marahitukirwo ni arutwo ukiringithania na mwaka muhituku wa 2024. Mathomo 11 arimo maraguirwo ukiringithania na mwaka o ucio. Thini wa mathomo 17 maria marahitukitwo, airetu maratongoretie mathomo-ini ma Githungu, Githweri, Sign Language, Home Science, CRE oro udumwe na Art and Design. No o mathomo-ini macio anake maratongoretie mathomo-ini ma Biology, Biology for the Blind, Chemistry, General Science, History oro udumwe na Government, Geography, IRE, Building and Construction na Business Studies. Ona gukiri ogo mathomo ta Metalwork, Power Mechanics, mathomo megi uhoro wigi thitima ona ushori na uhoro wigi Aviation Technology matigirari githanirio gatagati-ini ka anake na airetu. Amu namba ya airetu irari nini makiria.
In the year 2025 KCSE examinations, 17 subjects recorded a significant improvement in performance, similar to the number of subjects that recorded significant improvement in 2024. 11 subjects recorded a significant decline in performance in the year 2025 compared to 10 in 2024. Female candidates recorded better mean score performance than male candidates in the following 6 subjects. That is English, Kiswahili, Kenya Sign Language, Home Science, CRE, and Art and Design. Male candidates recorded better mean score performance than female candidates in 11 subjects, namely Mathematics, Alternatives A and B, Biology and Biology for the Blind, Chemistry, General Science, History and Government, Geography, IRE, Building and Construction, and Business Studies. The performance of male candidates was comparable to their female counterparts in the following 7 subjects: Physics, Agriculture, Computer Studies, French, German, Arabic, and Music. The number of female candidates registered in the following 5 subjects was too small to allow for a meaningful comparison of performance with their male counterparts. That is Metalwork, Power Mechanics, Electricity, Drawing and Design, and Aviation Technology. As has been the case since 2023, KCSE examination, the 2025 KCSE examination results have been graded using the reviewed grading system in which the overall grade at KCSE examination considers mathematics the best performing language among English, Swahili, and Kenyan Sign Language, and the best performed 5 subjects.
Kwa ihinda ria miaka iri kirumaniririo namba ya airetu aria mekite kigeranio gia KCSE ni ongererekeire ikiringithanio na namba ya anake aria marekire kigeranio giki kia mwaka wa 2025. Uu ni kuringana na ndumiriri irerekereirio ni Minister wa Githomo Julius Ogamba uria ugite hari kaunti 10 nicio irandikithirie kuongerereka kwa namba ya anake makiringithanio na airetu, nacio kaunti 14 ikiandikithia namba nene ya airetu o makiringithanio na anake, nacio kaunti 23 ikirikana ni iraigananirie muigana wa arutwo airetu na anake aria marekire kigeranio giki.
of the 993,226 candidates who sat the 2025 KCSE examinations, 492,012 were male, while 501,214 were female, representing 49.54% and 50.46% of the total candidature, respectively. This is the second year in a row since inception of the KCSE examinations that female candidates are more than male candidates. However, 10 counties had a significant entry of more male than female candidates. These were Garissa, which had 66.24% to 33.76%. Mandera had 65.09% to 34.91%. Wajir had 60.10% to 39.90%. Turkana had 57.67% to 42.33%. Narok had 53.10% to 46.90%. Samburu had 52.43% to 47.57%. Mombasa had 52.08% to 47.92%. Homa Bay had 52% to 48%. Nyamira had 51.9% to 48.03%. And West Pokot had 51% to 48.16%. 14 counties had a significant entry of more female than male candidates. These were Vihiga, which had 55.905% to 44.10%. Elgeyo Marakwet had 55.06% to 44.94%. Kisumu had 53.87% to 46.15%. Kiambu had 53.23% to 46.77%. Kwale had 53.19% to 46.81%. Nairobi had 52.90% to 47.10%. Kakamega had 52.47% to 47.53%. Meru had 52.22% to 47.78%. Isiolo had 52.21% to 47.79%. Uasin Gishu had 52.14% to 48.26%. Busia had 51.72% to 48.28%, and Tharaka Nithi had 51.57% to 48.43%. 23 counties, however, recorded near perfect gender parity, which counties were Lamu, Marsabit, Embu, Tana River, Laikipia, Kisii, Baringo, Migori, Trans Nzoia, Nandi, Kajiado, Taita Taveta, Kericho, Siaya, Kilifi, Bomet, Nyeri, Nyandarua, Murang'a, Nakuru, Kirinyaga, Bungoma, and Makueni.
Mau nĩ maũndũ megiĩ igeranio iria ciagĩkorwo cikirekererio o mũthenya wa ũmũthĩ, na no tũgũthiĩ na mbere na gũtigĩrĩra atĩ ona mathukuru marĩa meka wega nĩ tũgũkorwo tũkĩmũmenyithia, na nĩguo tũkorwo tũkĩnyitanĩra harĩ gũkũngũĩra arutwo arĩa othe marakorirwo magĩka igeranio icio cia KCSE na arĩa maragĩthiĩ gĩkĩro-inĩ kĩu kĩngĩ. Mũtongoria wa kĩama kĩa DCP Rigathĩ Gachagua nĩ araruta ndũmĩrĩri mũthenya ũmwe thutha wa igeria rĩa Nyanake gũthararia mũcemanio wake taũni-inĩ ya Nyeri muthenya wa ira. Na rĩu tũgũthiĩ ĩmwe kwa ĩmwe nginyagia kaunti-inĩ ya Nyeri kũrĩa Gachagua araraniria na andĩki a mohoro na njĩra ya ĩmwe kwa ĩmwe, na nĩguo tũkorwo tũkĩigua marĩa gũkorwo akĩarĩrĩria.
Over the last few days, there has been a national discourse on the admission of our children to grade 10, of our of our children in grade 10 to our secondary schools, I wish to weigh in and say as follows. President Mwai Kibaki, the third president of the Republic of Kenya, a champion of education and development in Kenya, and President Uhuru Kenyatta massively developed the education sector in Kenya, particularly in infrastructure and development. Through the due process, we had free primary education, free secondary education for day schools, and without doubt, the education sector has grown steadily even as our population and development priorities grow as a nation. However, some unfortunate truths and discussions must be held now for prosperity, introspection, and national audit. We must be alive to the fact that our Constitution of Kenya 2010 gifted us devolution, which took off in the year 2013. At the same time, the Constitutional Development Fund, now National Government CDF, came into action in the year 2004. Hitherto, several funds have been channeled to our counties and constituencies since then to develop our villages, towns, and where we all come from. This was meant to bridge development gaps and create equity. I take note that since the year 2013, the 47 counties in Kenya have received a total of 4 trillion transfers from the national government to county governments as part of the share of revenue. This does not include county-owned source income. Further, since 2004, CDF has received about 500 billion channeled to our constituencies and mostly going to the development of education. Various legal provisions detail how these monies must be spent. A top on education and more infrastructure development. When I raise the issue of unfairness in the criteria used to admit children in our 106 national schools countrywide, I have received overwhelming information and support countrywide. I have received overwhelming information and support from Kenyans across. Since revenue is shared equitably, why would some regions in Kenya have national schools that exist by name? They just a shell by themselves. Why would a certain member of parliament or governor or a community invest in the education sector and others don't? The issues I raised, and I want to be very clear, is that all children in Kenya deserve equal treatment. National schools are very critical because they have very developed infrastructure and they attract the best among our children. The issue that I raised, and I would like to continue raising it, is that there must be fairness in the placement of children in national schools. I have not insisted, and I cannot, that children of a certain area must go to schools where those schools are domiciled. No. What I'm saying is, where the schools are domiciled, children from that area who qualify to go to those schools must be given an opportunity. I have examples. Parents have called me from Nyanza, Ngiagaos, Kamusinga High School, Mukumu Gaos, Machako School, Mulango Gaos in Kitui, St. Charles Wanga, Thika High School, where children from those areas who had applied to be considered to be admitted in those areas, in those schools, and attained the requisite marks were denied an opportunity. For example, there is a child from the Goto area who got 71 out of 72 marks. Alliance High School is just a few meters from Togoto. That child had asked to be placed in Alliance High School, and the cluster was right. That child was denied an opportunity. Yet, some children from other areas with as low as 50 marks have been admitted to those institutions. That is what we are saying is unfair. It cannot be, you know. This placement must be based on merit for all the children of Kenya. And I am saying it's unfair to deny a child an opportunity to go to a school of his or her choice with very high marks and give that opportunity to another child with very low marks. That I'm saying is unfair, is uncalled for. Let me also say this, because it's important. Let leaders from Northern Kenya not lecture us about affirmative action. Devolution has been in place since 2013. And leaders from those regions deliberately have refused to develop institutions. Yet they want their children to enjoy the facilities of institutions that have been put by other leaders in other counties. Since 2013, Wajir County has received 99.6 billion Kenya shillings. Marsabit County has received 76.83 billion. Garissa County has received 81.7 billion shillings. Mandera County has received 119 Kenya billion shillings. They have the opportunity to develop institutions of the highest standards possible in Kenya. Not just for the children of those areas, but for the children of Kenya. I traveled as deputy president to those areas, and I don't see any institutions, despite the massive funding that taxpayers have channeled to those counties. Yet in counties that have received less money, in Western Kenya, in Rift Valley, here in the mountain, when you go around, you see beautiful institutions. I want to say that we need to have a national conversation about zoning of placement. This was okay then because some areas were marginalized. But these areas have received massive funding from the Equalization Fund. They have received massive funds from the National Kitty. CDF funds are shared equally among the 290 constituencies.
Kuu nĩ kaunti-inĩ ya Nyeri kuria mundu gwitwo Rigathi wa Gachagua korwo akĩarĩrĩria muno makiria muno uhoro wĩgiĩ maundu megiĩ gĩthomo arĩ ndereti ĩrĩa rĩu ĩrathiĩ na mbere. Na rĩu kwa ihinda rĩrĩ ndenda tũthiĩ kũrĩa mwena wa Mombasa kuria umwe wa mathukuru marĩa mekĩte wega nĩ thukuru wa Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed ũrĩa gũkinyiria rĩu ũrĩa wĩna A's 16 maina 35 airĩtu marĩ na A 12 na tũhĩtũrĩ na kana anake marĩ na A 4. Rĩu tũkũnyitanĩra na mwandĩki witũ Francis Mande ũrĩa ũrĩ mwena ũcio wa Mombasa na nĩgetha akorwo agĩtũtarĩria ũrĩa ũkũngũĩri mwena ũcio ũrathiĩ na mbere na matanya ma arutwo acio.
Thengio muno nĩ ndĩrakũnyita na njĩra ĩrĩa njagĩrĩru ndĩ mwena wa gũkũ gĩcũa-inĩ kaunti-inĩ ya Mombasa na kũrĩa tũragĩthiĩ na mbere na kũrũmanĩrĩra na moimĩrĩra ma kĩgeranio gĩa KCSE na gũkũ mamwe ma mathukuru kana ũmwe wa thukuru iria ciĩkĩte wega nĩ thukuru ũyũ ndũgamĩte wa Sheikh Zayed ũrĩa ũgĩkĩte wega mũno thĩinĩ wa gĩcigo gĩkĩ na tondũ gũkũ mambura makĩrĩ maingĩ mũno ndikĩenda gũte mahinda ngwenda tũthikĩrĩrie amwe a arutwo arĩa magĩkĩte wega oro hamwe tũgĩthikĩrĩrie thauti ya mwarimũ mũnene wa thukuru ĩno nĩgetha agĩtwĩre mekĩte atĩa na rĩngĩ agĩtwĩre mũrutwo ũrĩa ũragĩkire wega aragĩkire kana arakinyitire grade ĩrĩkũ.
My name is Serani Abdullah and alhamdulillah by the grace of Allah I was able to score an A. All thanks to Allah for giving me the opportunity to study in such a prestigious school and for giving me my mother who has been such a who has been my biggest supporter, my backbone and has been there for me since day one. She's the epitome of all strong single women out there and I definitely take after her confidence and resilience. And then of course to our principal who came up with different strategies to help us excel in our exams. And then to my subject teachers, especially Miss Imina, my class teacher, who has instilled discipline in us that I feel like we will live with for the rest of our lives. And then to my tuition teacher, Mr. Salim, who has helped me regain my confidence because I've had major setbacks in my last year and he was the one who made me believe in myself. And then of course to all of the Sheikh Khalifa teachers that hold a dear place in my heart, to all of the non-teaching staff for creating a conducive environment for us to study in, to my friends who have been my biggest support system, and then of course to myself for putting in the efforts. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Vipi hali zenu? Alhamdulillah, mimi naitwa Sheikh Rashid Rajab Ramadhan, mwalimu mkuu Sheikh Khalifa School. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wallahi sisi hatuna ila kwanza kurudisha shukrani kwa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kwa ufanisi huu ambao kwamba tuusherekea saizi. Tulifanya bidii, tuliweka mikakati, tukafanya bidii, tukaomba Mungu, tukatoa sadaka, na combination ya zote hizi imetupa natija hizi ambazo kwamba bado zaingia, lakini paka hapa tulipofika tuna A16 alhamdulillah rabbil alamin, moja ikiwa ni Arania, na tuna A-35 mpaka sasa, na bado results za trickle in kwa sababu ya msongamano wa mtandao. Kwa hivyo this is a big improvement from last year but one. Last year tulikuwa tuna only 4 A's, last year but one tulikuwa tuna only 9 A's. So mwaka huu hata combination ya hiyo 4 na 9 bado tumeipita, manake tuna 16 A's alhamdulillah, 4 zikitoka from our boys na 12 zikitoka from our girls alhamdulillah, na tuna 2 girls ambao kwamba wana A's 84, which is a remarkable achievement alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wallahi hatuna ila kumshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mean grade ya mwaka uliopita ilikuwa 9.1, ya mwaka huu tutarajia with these results tutarajia above 9.5, a B+, which was our mean, which was our target mean was a B+, and inshallah we are going to get it with these good results, because paka sasa the last grade is a C+.
Thank you muno. Ucio ni mwalimu munene wa thukuru uyu agitariria gikeno giake iguru ria moimirira ma kigeranio giki. Ndire na mangi gucokia mwaro na kuriwe studio handu-ini ha Inooro TV kuma guku gicoini kaunti ya Mombasa. Nie njitagwo Francis Madi.
Negatho Francis Mandi ni tondu wa guturehera arutwo acio aria ni amwe aria magikite wega kigeranio-ini gia KCSE. Riri arutwo aria marekire kigeranio gia KEDSEA na aria matanyitwo kuingira thukuru cia secondary kiumia giukite, thirikari yugite ni iharirie wega gutigirira arutwo na aciari ni magia na ihinda ihuthu githomo-ini giki. Ministry ya githomo ikiuga ni yakite laboratory 600 thukuru-ini itiganite, irathi 2023 noho kwandika wira arimu 100,000 na warimu 24,000 makiandikwo mwaka uyu. O ministry yugite ni heanite ihinda kuri arutwo na aciari aria marenda gucenjia ciana cia thukuru iria maretitwo cia grade 10 niguo gutigirira aciari na arutwo ni maiganira na thukuru iria mashagurite.
The placements and the transition that we are doing, we are having a new system called Kenya Education Management Information System, which is helping us in the transition, and we are moving everybody. Soon and very soon, all the entire education ecosystem will be under one digital platform, so that whatever thing you need to know in education, just at the click of the button, you can know the status of the results of your student, and you can know everything going on in the education sector. We have been able to place 1.1 million learners transiting from junior school to senior school. We have given them an opportunity for the first time also to do their vast revision. For those who didn't like their pathways, we give them an opportunity. They have revised the first time, and we have given them also a second chance. If they didn't like again the first revision, we have given them a chance that is closing today. So these are record things. The system is very transparent.
The government has employed a record 100,000 teachers since 2023, with 24,000 of these teachers recruited this year. We built a record 23,000 classrooms across the country to support the transition of the first grade 9 cohort. This year, we will construct a total of 1,600 laboratories in various senior schools in order to support practical learning. We released the sum of 44.2 billion shillings as capitation for learners in all public basic education institutions ahead of school opening. This is the first time that capitation has been disbursed before schools open.
President William Ruto niokirire atongoria na ateti aria ugite marenda kugayukania a Kenya na njira ya gwikira mihaka ya githomo na ukabira. Augite thirikari yake guthii atia kana atia ndigwitikiria mugayukano uyu kuona githomo gia thukuru cia gibururi kiombirwo na niguo kweheria mihaka ya ukoroni iria yathutukanagia muingi na mithingi ya kirathi. Ahinyiririe mu Kenya ari na wiyathi wa guthomera o haria angienda atari na wa kumuria kiuria.
Na ndio mimi nataka niwaambie brainless bankrupt politicians who want to create barriers, who want to erect roadblocks. I want to tell them the reason why we have national schools is because we wanted to break down the barriers of colonialism and ethnicity. And we will not allow no politician, however desperate they may be, however bankrupt they may be, to erect new boundaries for our children. We want our children to learn in every institution that is available to them in Kenya. Especially our national schools must have access to all the children of Kenya equally. In any case, all those schools have been built using resources from the government of Kenya, especially the national schools. So, mimi nataka niwaeleze, we will not allow anybody, however insane, however mad, however desperate, however tribal they may be, to balkanize our children. Our children will go to school because we are one indivisible nation called Kenya. Mimi nawauliza watu wa Nakuru.
Na thutha wa riboti yo tukwamba tuikirie oro hanini no ni tugucokereria thutha wa ndagika itari kuraya ni tondu turi na mangi maingi maria tukuhaririirie thiini wa Inoro Mĩaraho ndukehere mitambo-ini.
Tired of late rides and shady charges? Itisha Wigo. Na Wigo, you get more than just a ride. Unapata on-time pickups, gari safi na fresh every time. Ride V-Smart, ride V-Safe, na Wigo. Download the app now, ama SMS Wigo to 2045. Wigo, your trusted ride.
Wewe Ngai tondu hindi iria ndagwetereire ni wandeithirie na ihinda rĩaku rĩrĩa rĩakinyire ni wahingirie uria wanjĩrĩire. Ndakinyĩte handu ngĩeciria atĩ ni wariganĩirwo ni karĩko gaitũ nawe, no we ndũrĩ mũndũ ũriganĩrwo. Maũndũ marĩa mũndũ wathe atangĩhota we Ngai no ũhote. Tũteithie Mwathani, naguo riri na gĩtĩo ni ciaku.
Wegera ihoya ta rũgambi rwa thimũ yaku hihinya *812*790#.
Some people say love is about grand gestures. Others say it's about words. But sometimes, love is simply choosing time together. It's slow mornings by the sea, shared discoveries, quiet laughter, and moments where the world feels far away and nothing else matters. In Seychelles, discover the islands at your own pace with a half-day island tour and a marine park experience where the ocean becomes part of your story. Enjoy 4 unforgettable nights in the island Seychelles from $3,960 per couple, because love deserves time and moments worth remembering. This is our love language. View travel, dream, explore, discover.
Babe.
Uga baby.
Na I hope umuthi ti githeri riki.
Ai, githeri. Acha we. Irio
to githeri.
We had makinya handu ona mai matingimeria tondu arure riho riu ndagitari angirora hota kuona kinya kwina mahira
kwina horo wa hina hiweigie shiva we ni agukite mucii kwa Dalmia ndigekwirira undu uyu wothe thimu-ini
urenda kuga nduramenyaga kiria kirathi na mbere to uria uretua nduramenya kuria mwana wa Njeri
Ni twacokereria tuthii na mbere na mohoro. President William Ruto no athiite na mbere na kuhurira irefe mubango wake wa kuhe andu ethi mbeca cia gwikuria wa nyota. Umuthi president agitongoria mihango ino county-ini ya Naikuru aroria andu ethi kana andu ethi maramukira muigana wa ciringi 50,000 cia kwibanga kiwonjoria.
Tutakuwa tumepatiana 2.5 billion shillings to deserving young people in Kenya, 100,000 of them. And in another 2-3 months, tutawapatia another 2.5 billion vijana wetu wa Kenya. Na tunafanya hivyo because this is one of the interventions we are doing as a government of Kenya to make sure that mambo ya vijana sio kuongea. Mambo ya vijana, we have a deliberate plan. We have an intentional plan ya kuungana kama serikali na kutafuta mbinu na njia ya kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wa Kenya wako na nafasi ya kujisimamia, ya kupata ajira, ya kufanya biashara, ndio tuwajumuishe ile nguvu wako nayo, ile elimu wamepata, ile ujuzi wako nayo, wachangie katika kuendesha taifa letu la Kenya.
Athuri a kiama na Anyakinyo ni morĩtie ateti kunira tunwa ithigi ihinda-inĩ rĩrĩ bũrũri werekeire kambĩini-inĩ cia gĩthurano kĩa mwaka wa 2027. Matongoretio ni Mũthamaki Ngera wa Mboro morĩtie atumia o hamwe na andũ ethĩ kwaga gwĩtigĩra na gũkorwo mũhari-inĩ wa mbere harĩ kũgacĩrithia ũtongoria wa bũrũri. Simon Ngure ena ũhoro makĩria.
Orere orugare wa kiuteti uthiete na mbere kwambatira mwerekera-ini wa githurano kia mwaka wa 2027. Riu athuri a kiama o hamwe na Anyakinyo kuma Nyandarua moretie ateti gwethema gutuhoka mĩario ĩngĩgayũkania mũingĩ na mĩthingi ya kiuteti kana kĩndũrĩrĩ.
Andũ aitũ nĩ marorio mathure andũ arĩa mekuona mena ũigĩrĩrĩki na metĩkĩre atĩ ũhoro wa kũheo ciringi 100 kana 2 kou nĩ kwendia utongoria, nĩ kwendia urigithathi wao, nĩ kwendia hinya wao, nĩ tondũ mahingwo maitho na kũheo mbeca, ũguo noguo maingata maendeleo kana ũiguano wa uthi na mbere ũkũra nĩ ũndũ wa mbeca icio mahetwo.
Matongoretio nĩ Mũthamaki Ng'era moretie atumia hamwe na andũ ethĩ kwagaga gwĩtigĩra na gũkorwo mũhari-inĩ wa mbere harĩ kũgacĩrithia ũtongoria wa bũrũri.
Tukahoya anake matikae gũtũmwo wĩra wa kũhũra andũ arĩa angĩ. Anake onao me youth my Gen Z metĩkĩre gũikia kura na kuoya kura, nĩ tondũ kura nĩo mũgambo ũrĩa mwega ũngĩtũma mahote kuthura thirikari ĩrĩa yagĩrĩire.
Nĩ tũkuga ta Njororoko ithuĩ tũrĩ arĩmi, tũrĩ andũ moĩ kwĩrutĩra wĩra. Kĩrĩa tũrenda no empowerment. Kono tũigue mũgambo wa kuga barabara cia Njororoko cithondekwo, arĩmi mahote kumĩria irio ciao, mahote kwendia na bei njega.
Mĩario yao yũkĩte o rĩrĩ atongoria kuma Nyandarua matongoretio nĩ Grace Wamuyu kuma Oljororo marenda atongoria atumia arĩa maramatha iturwa cia ũtongoria kũheo gĩtĩo.
Nĩ tũronire ũmwe witũ gwĩtwo Moses Kuria akĩruma mũtumia gwĩtwo Jane Kihara na nĩ nguga nĩ mahĩtia mũno mũthuri wĩna ciana cia airĩtu, mũthuri wĩna kinyagia mũtumia, ũciarĩtwo nĩ mũtumia akĩruta ciugo kinya citangĩtamũkĩka na akĩruma hau kwanja mũtumia mũkũrũ kinya kũmũkĩra. No njuge ithuĩ tũrĩ ta atongoria a atimia nĩ tũgeragĩra maũndũ maritũ mũno, no reke gũtigakinye handũ atĩ ũngĩagĩra mũtumia gĩtĩo.
Marĩtie ũũ marĩ itũũra-inĩ rĩa werũ Oljororok hĩndĩ ya mathiko ma kĩrago wa mũrage ũrĩa ũrarĩ mũtongoria wa kĩama gĩcigo-inĩ kĩa Oljororok.
Nĩ mũtongoria tũrendete mũno, nĩ mũthuri wendete thayũ mũno.
Ngĩribotera Inooro TV kuma kaũntĩ ya Nyandarua, rĩtwa rĩakwa nĩ Simon Ngure.
Kiama kia UDA kiugite meharĩrĩria maithurano nini matũra-inĩ nĩ marĩkĩrĩirie ithurano cia arũgamĩrĩri a ceceni cia ũikia wa kura igĩtanywo gũtabanio mũthenya wa rũciũ. Ithurano ici igatabanio kaunti-inĩ 20 gĩtarũ-inĩ kia Mount Kenya, rũgũrũ rwa bũrũri o hamwe na Rift Valley. O ceceni-inĩ ya ũikia wa kura amemba a UDA magakorwo magĩthura andũ 20 itura-inĩ itiganĩte. Mũrũgamĩrĩri wa ithurano kiama-inĩ kia UDA Anthony Mwaura augĩte gatagatĩ wa ahũranĩri 400 guothe kaunti-inĩ 20 ahũranĩri aingĩ moimĩte gĩtarũ-inĩ kia Mount Kenya. Mwaura nĩ atianĩirie mũhuhu atĩ kiama kĩu nĩ gĩtete ngumo kaunti-inĩ cia Mount Kenya, akiuga kwĩyumĩria kwa ahũranĩri aingĩ nĩ kuonania kiama kĩu kĩrĩ na uge mũnene.
Na ithurano ikĩro 20 cia bũrũri kana counties 20 cia bũrũri, na ithurano ikambĩrĩria thaa 2 cia kĩroko kinya thaa 11 cia hwaĩ-inĩ, na andũ arĩa meyandĩkithĩtie gũkahũranĩra iturwa icio ciothe thĩinĩ wa polling station 12,800 nĩ andũ hakuhĩ 400, na nĩ tũratanya by thaa 11 ndagĩka ithano after thaa 11 matangatho mothe na icio ciothe nĩ igakorwo ciũkĩte na nĩ tũgakorwo tũkĩmenya nĩ arĩkũ macindĩte thĩinĩ wa polling station icio ciothe 12,800. Nĩ iturwa 20 kuma chairman gũthiĩ vice chairman, secretary, treasurer, kwĩna representative wa SME, kwĩna representative wa youth, representative wa atumia, representative wa ahũri a biacara, representative wa arũmĩrĩri. Iturwa icio ciothe iroka 20. Koguo polling station ciothe igakorwo na iturwa 20 iria ikahũranwo nĩ andũ othe. Na thĩinĩ wa ikĩro cia Mount Kenya nĩ tuonete namba nene mũno ya andũ meyumĩrĩtie. Tũtongoretio nĩ Meru ĩrĩa ĩna andũ 38,000 arĩa marahũranĩra thĩinĩ wa constituency ciothe cia Meru. Macokerirwo nĩ Kiambu na constituency 36,000. Marũmĩrĩirwo nĩ Murang'a, tũgacoke tũthiĩ Embu, Nyeri na Laikipia na Tharaka Nithi.